Well, a very good afternoon and warm welcome. I think courtesy of the good weather today. It's my great pleasure to welcome today all of you and especially the British Foreign Secretary David Miliband for his speech on what's next for the European Union, what next for Europe. And the question is more relevant than ever. A couple of weeks after elections to the European Parliament, a few days after a blessing for President Barroso for the next term, at least initial blessing, and after the financial regulation package was initially approved by the European Council. It is clear that there is a battle of ideas on what course Europe should take economically. There are interesting noises coming from a slightly less sober palace than this one in Versailles last night. Some people are like the old president of Egypt, Nasser, who was once asked by his driver when approaching a roundabout what direction he should take. And he answered, well, put out the indicator left and turn right. And some politicians, I suspect and feel, are giving exactly the same orders. They are asking to put out the indicator left or right, but turn left. Economics is not everything. Europe's agenda is increasingly shaped by external factors. Range of issues from relations with the Muslim world to getting rid of nuclear weapons. And we could not have been more fortunate today than to receive inspiration on all these issues from British Foreign Secretary David Miliband. David Miliband is one of the key players in British politics. He served as Tony Blair's head of policy when Labour was in opposition. So in case you wonder, the Labour Party has not been in power since the time immemorial. He co-authored the party manifesto that got Labour elected in 1997. He then served as the head of policy unit in Prime Minister's office, got elected Member of Parliament for South Shields, which I gather is an interesting seat because there has not been a single Conservative elected in South Shields since 1832, since the record has begun. So you must feel at home there as a Labour Member of Parliament. David Miliband served as Minister for all the right things in the last few years in the Department for Education and Skills, then as Environment Secretary, driving British policy on climate change, and then he became Foreign Secretary in June 2007. Now, one of the best British analysts published a book a few years ago entitled Why Europe Will Run the 21st Century. I think we are in a less upbeat mood today, slightly out of breath, courtesy of the emerging powers, and hailing the scars of the economic crisis. What confidence will return and how we can give that process a helping hand, and what is the Europe that he sees in his crystal ball. With that question in mind, I would like to invite David Miliband to take the floor.